Hello, I'm Mantastic and Fantastic, and today I'm going to be giving a small little public service announcement about these new rainbow medals that we've been able to acquire from the August quests and now the EIR Descended dungeon. So I wrote this article on August 1st, and I realized there's no point necessarily making a video at that point in time because we only could have had maximum 2 rainbow medals at that point in time, and 2 cannot buy you anything. So now that we have the chance of getting a third one through this new Descend dungeon that's here right now, it's worth making a video because now it might be on the more forefront of people's minds. So these rainbow event medals are basically another type of kind of currency, so to speak, that is given out at a very limited basis for clearing special challenges or hard content. Now, in Japan, at the time of writing this article, there's only 9 rainbow event medals given out at the time, so there is a very limited supply. Now, in North America, we have the ability to gain 3 at this exact time, so it does give us the possibility of beginning to exchange things in for these evolution gems. So we can exchange 3 rainbow medals for Borma, Zapan, or Bioto. And this is, in my opinion, a bit of a waste because A, these cards are not necessarily used for anything super truly relevant or significant. The other 2 ones of Zapan and Zila, it's Zila and the purple one. Those are for Dark Athena and Light Mirror. So those have much more relevance overall. Whereas these ones are for the starter dragons. Sure, they are nice, but if you're able to acquire these gems naturally, you probably would have better cards than the starter dragons. And in that same train of thought, you can simply co-op with a person who has either Borma, Zapan, or Bioto Descend, who was able to complete the one-shot challenge. Co-op with them, get the drop, get the gem, boom, solved your problem. So there's no real need to spend your rainbow medals on something like this because it is kind of farmable. Like, the whole idea of these rainbow event medals is to try and gain something that is unique or valuable that we can't replicate any other way. So yes, these gems are a possibility, but by the time you possibly get them, like if you are able to clear all the August challenges and the EIR Descended, you probably have stronger leaders than the starter dragons. And then next are these Gung Ho exclusive collabs or Gung Ho exclusive cards. So Gung Ho is actually quite a large video game company. They produce many different titles, and it is not unusual that they start having spillovers between various genres. So Chronomagia is a trading card game that they also make, and they have been releasing those characters in Puzzle and Dragons. And at this point in time, Japan has access to several of them, and it should not be too far of a stretch for us to expect to receive them because there shouldn't necessarily be licensing issues because it's still Gung Ho. It's the parent company. So we should be able to acquire these cards in the future. And Hanukkah and Arista's from a different game, I forgot which one. I only really play Pad, to be fair, but these 2 different cards will cost you 4 rainbow event medals. So again, even if we do acquire them magically tomorrow, we still can't purchase them because we don't have 4. And they are all right. They do have the ability to be changed into a weapon assist. So for Hanukkah, she can reduce incoming damage by 50% for 2 turns and provide a 50% max heal for 2 turns. So you might think, wow, this healing can be very useful for HP-sensitive teams like Yogg, but unfortunately it doesn't work that way. This heal functions like an auto-heal awakening or latent awakening in that the healing occurs after you match orbs. So those leaders that have to be high health to deal damage will not benefit from this. It's basically just like a super auto-heal. If you have something like Edward who needs to be high health to gain the damage reduction, this technically does work, but you're not receiving the damage component at the same time, so it's kind of questionable where you could actually truly benefit from this type of active skill. And you are able to convert it into a weapon assist form, and all it does is gives you 1 big time extend awakening. So you get plus 1 second of orb movement time. Is that really necessary in all honesty? Like, the active skill is okay. There are better shielding options out there. Do you need that 1 second of movement time that badly? Most cards nowadays tend to have at least 2 built in, so most teams are able to hit like 10 seconds, which should be reasonably comfortable on a 6x5 board, at least in my opinion. The next possible card is Arista, and she does have double co-op boost awakenings, which means her base stats are gigantically bolstered in co-op mode. So for the most part, cards with the co-op boost awakening are used as button bases. So that means you inherit something like Grimjaw, Vitra, something that scales off of the card's ATK or attack value in order to button through and deal meaningful amounts of damage to all enemies. So with double co-op boost, Arista is basically gaining huge amounts of base weighted stats, so they can successfully inherit a button very well. But the thing is, players who are able to make these button style teams possibly already have full-fledged teams already, and these button style farming teams are not really applicable or practical for the average player. Yes, you may have one button if you purchase her, but is one button going to be enough to clear content that fast and efficiently? Probably not. And in all honesty, being able to clear dungeons, say, in 3 minutes instead of 4 minutes, you save 1 minute's time because you have buttons, but that's probably a really extreme example. Most dungeons are cleared in shorter times, but the point of the matter is, unless you're planning to actually spend stones to refill your stamina, is it really necessary to go that much faster? Unless maybe you're doing something like Gem Temple, which is a limited time dungeon, that sort of idea. But even then, most of the limited time stuff is really just Gem Temple, and if I'm not mistaken, they don't really use button teams because the unique gems have far too much health. So unless you're a player who's willing to spend magic stones to refill their stamina, and you really need more button bases because you already have the button inherits available, Arista is not necessarily going to be that valuable. But at least she does have a bit more value because she does have 3 skill boosts. So again, if you are really desperate and for efficient farming, you can have a 3 skill boost card, and you can have multiple co-op boosts awakening. So again, it's very heavily edging on luxury, but at least I feel it has much more practical applications than Hanukkah. So in conclusion, like, these rainbow event medals are a rare currency, and being able to see ahead in the future to what Japan is releasing in about 2 to 3 months time, we can kind of plan and budget ourselves accordingly, because we know if something valuable comes out, we just simply save and hoard and get it as soon as it is released. At this point in time, nothing truly spectacular is available, so again, just keep hoarding and keep saving. I would not spend those on the evolution gems, and these 2 Chronomagia / other Gung-Ho game cards, certain niche applications overall. So hopefully all a Mantastic day. I wish you all the best luck in your own pad adventures, as well as being able to clear the August quest, which I do have a Riku clear for level 10 on my YouTube channel, and happy puzzling.